All right, we're joined by the voice of the Abbotsford Canucks. Oh my God, it's James Cybulski. Thank you so much for being here. We're so excited.
What's up? Come on, you don't have to be that excited. I mean, it's only me after all. Like, I don't hear Ashley saying woo or throwing confetti. I mean, you could have pumped me up a little bit, Ash.
I'm so enthralled. I am speechless because I do not know how to handle my emotions, James.
I don't know. You almost sounded like a sleepy senator there for a second.
Oh,
We are so glad to have you. Stop it right now.
we are glad to have you.
Please.
And we want to jump right into what's topical for us. Obviously, we're in Ontario. We got to talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs. It's been 6 or 7 seasons right now that they've been, hurting in the playoffs. The fans have been begging for them to make some moves on trade deadline. And trade deadline kind of came and went. What did you think about what the Maple Leafs did?
Do you want to start with the good or the bad?
Whichever you want.
Okay, well, let's be Perry positive.
Let's be honest.
For a second, okay? And I love Mark Giordano.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, there's a guy who is from the GTA. He is a character guy. He is a Norris Trophy defenseman. He brings puck moving ability. He brings leadership. He brings character. He's a perfect fit inside the room. And there's a guy who can also be relied upon playing big minutes in the postseason and help be a puck-moving defenseman in today's game. So he checks a lot of boxes as to what the Leafs could use in the lineup on their back end, going into a murderer's row of playoff teams in the Eastern Conference. Having said that,
however, but wait, there's more.
Maybe a goaltender might have been a good idea to go down that road. This team is built to win now. They are totally built to win now. I like the Giordano pick, but in the game of trust, I just don't trust that goaltending to go 4 rounds for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
What are the repercussions if the goaltending ends up being a main issue for the Leafs here?
Look, I don't think anybody's losing their job. Like, do I think Kyle Dubas is going to get fired if they don't win a Stanley Cup this year?
No, but the people are taking to the streets and protest.
Yeah,
no?
but I think status quo in terms of what you've done with that core, where you've locked that much money into Austin Matthews, William Nylander, John Tavares, Mitch Marner. You've locked up Morgan Riley for the foreseeable future as well. I mean, there's your core. If you look at the National Hockey League in the salary cap era, it's really hard to win with mediocre goaltending. And I think especially now with the road that you have to go through to the East, I think it's really hard.
And what you're talking about too is, as we stay in the East, is there's a lot of teams, specifically too, the Florida Panthers and New York Rangers, who went full buy. They're all in for this Stanley Cup run. So what do you think when we talk winners and losers, who the winners were yesterday versus the losers in the Trade Center?
I mean, I love what Florida did. I mean, they checked all the boxes in terms of what they needed and to load up, to add Claude Giroux to already just a ridiculously filthy group of offensive snipers, right? Just absolutely stacked. To me, I still think the Lightning are the team to beat. To make the moves that they did to readdress their third line, man, that team is going to be tough. And you have to ask yourself, which team can legitimately knock off Andrei Vasilevsky as your last line of defense? The road through the West, to me, is going to be much easier than going through the Eastern Conference, right? Look, Calgary, Colorado, those are beasts. But in terms of going 4 rounds, to get out of the West, I think you'd have an easier time than what you've got to deal with the East this year.
Okay, so let's talk about the West for a second, because we love talking. Well, I specifically love talking about.
No, not we. Brad will not shut up about.
I love the West. I think Colorado's perfectly built this year. And when you talk about winners and losers, I think they stole the entire Trade Center day by adding Arturi Lehkonen and getting Andrew Cogliano. He's made the playoff 10 of the last 11 years, add some veteran leadership. He's been there, done it all. And this is a group that has just been looking for that little push to get them over the edge, to make them that elite Western team.
To me, the reason I like Colorado in the West, and it comes down to Jacob Markstrom, as good as he's been. What I wonder about Jacob Markstrom, and the one thing I found when I watched him here in Vancouver, Jacob Markstrom struggles when he works too much.
Here's another question for you. How long until McDavid leaves? Honestly, listen.
Well, my God, we spent the whole morning talking about this because Edmonton is begging for some backstopping.
For a reprieve. They need a reprieve, honest to God. They need a drink of water and they need a break in the shade because they have had so much talent that has been gifted to them via draft,
Yeah.
and they have yet to do anything significant with it. All that's left is like either bring back Grant Fuhrer or sage the locker room.
Well, what
and
is-
those are your choices?
No.
That's two tough choices.
But you're completely right. Like, what is the choice? You're sitting there on trade deadline. It's been 7 years into this process, and all you do is bring in Brett Kulak, who they gave away a first-round prospect and a second-rounder for. And Brett's, I'm a Montreal
Respectfully.
Canadiens fan, but he's not worth that. And all you're begging for is to tie up that loose end on the backstop, and you could make that next jump, and you don't. So in that room, aren't you deflated sitting there as the two best players, point-wise, in the league?
Brad, keep this in mind though. Look who the general manager in Edmonton is,
Oh.
and where he's had his success. He never went all in on goaltending, right?
James Cybulski, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate your time today. Please come back soon.
You're going to ball in Flin Flon.
And please,
I'd love to come back. Thanks for having me,
Yeah.
guys. Great to see you, Ashley. Great to see you, Brad.
and whoever your interior decorator is, please thank them for us and this picture behind us, okay?
Thanks, James.
Thanks, James.